Again, I didn't give enough of a warning that I'm going live, but it's okay because we're just chilling out. I'm gonna have my bass. Maybe one or two people will join, maybe not. But I got some interesting theories to add, or a theory, in terms of what I was talking about previously. And we could talk about that. It's going to be related to other stuff I've talked about. Now, I did grab my 4-string bass. Normally, I play guitar, so I'll pan around. You probably can't see that, but up there is my 7-string. I use that for heavier stuff, and there's my 6-string electric. Still used for heavier stuff because it's just what I like to play. Heavy music, mostly. Some interesting filters here. Anyway, so as I was discussing previously, I think that there's potentially some connection between the metaverse and the plan for the metaverse and CERN and this tethering like effect that's been taking place. I don't know why when I meditated on this, I envisioned it as like a boomerang. So what I think CERN did, or it might have not, it might have been something else entirely different, is that they sort of slingshotted us and quantumly entangled us into a specific future. In the future that's tethered to things such as quantum computing and the metaverse. So I should probably wait to talk further about this, but maybe I shouldn't. Anyway, it's going to upload regardless, so whatever. So what I mean by that is, like, since you have people discuss things like timelines, right? You have a tree and then branches of that tree, and from those branches branch out specific different variations, potentialities, probabilities of things that may or may not occur. So what, this particle collider, or maybe it was ritual magic, I don't know, but it was perhaps a combination of certain things together that fused together and slingshotted us. And I kind of see it as like a fish hook or a boomerang. So it's like a fish line, and it grabbed this probable future and it's dragging us. It's pulling that. Here's us here. It's pulling that future into us, right? And when this occurred, let's just say, okay, so I have another theory on what these massive events are that have taken place over the years that I don't feel are like standard earthquakes that are related to this. I'll give it a minute though. Okay. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, somebody did join us. All right. So we're tethered by a fishing line to a particular timeline, a particular future that's hooked us in, and it's pulling that future towards us. And while this basically this broke space time in itself, it broke the rules of physics, and it created this quantum entanglement like effect that a certain number of people, Mandela affected people. So this is just a theory, right? That's what I'm always discussing. So we're always talking about new ideas because we're trying to figure out what's going on. And certain people got sort of magnetically pulled into that metaverse that's already. Oh, wow, this is awesome. No. Hey, I prefer anything. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Well, hey, I'm talking about the Mandela effect. I'm talking about so basically what I was talking about is that I think like maybe the particle accelerator or CERN or some combination of ritual magic and the like is like we're being pulled into a specific future, like a hook, like a fishing line. So like if we have different timelines and different probabilities that we could be branching out to, what CERN or something did is that they created a straight line into a very specific, cyborg singularity, or what they call the singularity future, um, the metaverse future, right? And then some people, they got sort of thrust into that, um, like the Mandela affected people like me, we got sort of thrust into that already. So we're already in the digital copy of Earth. So there is a group of people that's simultaneously living in the future, and another group that's in 2022, and we're kind of in this sort of limbo mode, in this sort of bizarre quasi state of timelessness. Sounds weird, but I'm throwing anything out here. But how are you doing, Forever Conscious Research? I don't know your real name though. I don't know how you do these long streams. Man, you go on for hours. Like I get burned out after like 30, 40 minutes. You go on for hours. It's crazy. Doing well. I'm Mark. Hey, Mark. So yeah, I don't know if you really talk about the Mandela effect on your channel. Definitely be interested to know what you think about it. I mean, I'm sure you have talked about it. I just haven't caught up to it. Yeah, sometimes it can go out of control. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's crazy. Like, so yeah, I'm basically the point of the stream. I didn't really expect anyone to join because I kind of spontaneously just wanted to hang out, basically. But I think it's cool that you joined for sure. um, yeah, like I do think there's two different, that there is like a split in the timeline. That does kind of make sense to me. Um, but it's a really complicated and complex subject, and it's really hard for people who are not Mandela affected to understand like what people like myself are seeing, and they sort of like really diminish the Mandela effect and how much of an impact it's had on people. And it's so much more than logos. People always just turn back to logos, but it's the entire place, it's the entire realm. Everything has changed, at least our perception of it, or my perception of it has changed. So it's much bigger than some kind of stupid, silly logo changes. And it kind of honestly pisses me off when people just, oh, it's just company logos changing their blah, blah, blah. No. I mean, there's obviously something quantumly taking place. So, yeah. Oh, we got another person here. All right. Yeah. So, what is the result of that? I mean, that is kind of a theory that makes sense to me. If there is this quantum entanglement like effect with a particular future, an AI cyborg future, and some people with their consciousness for whatever reason just got pulled into, like, we could potentially be in 2080 right now and not even realize it, like the movie Matrix. That's, I mean, like I said, that's not far-fetched to me. I feel we may be dealing with something like multiple reality overlays, some converging over one another, and most being subtle, bordering barely. Yeah, that definitely. You know what? It definitely feels like it's like some kind of a convergence effect, or some kind of, like layers of a sandwich or skin or whatever, and it's kind of almost like they're being compressed together, but then it's like, but then the tension is released, so it's like kind of like a breathing effect, I guess. Like you have like these incidents that occur, like that volcano, which kind of like compresses like all the it compresses the timeline into that one singularity timeline. But then there's like it like releases the tension, and then it just slams back down again, where they're trying to kind of speed us along to that singularity, creepy meta whatever, where the VR goggle crappy dystopian hellscape they want to create. But then again, since there's no time, it's already created, right? It's already, that future already exists, and that's why we're being tethered towards that future. It's unsettling, it's disturbing. Like, I don't know. It bothers me a lot. It bothers me. There's something really sinister with this. Like, I mean, I definitely have some disagreements with you about, the reincarnation, soul trap, and stuff. However, in what way I see eye to eye with you is that I definitely agree that there is something really. There is something about this realm that does kind of feel like it has an effect, like of an entrapment sort of effect to it. Hey, Nigel. I also feel that they've been introducing new ones since the early 2000s and maybe again in 2015. Yeah, that makes sense. But it's possible it's all just new overlay being noticeable. Yeah. Crazy to think about and very difficult to know that. Yeah. Well, hey, we're all trying to figure this place out, right? I mean, this place is a freaking, it's mind boggling. Hey, Nigel, look what I got. Got the bass. Maybe it has to do with money, right? Money. Maybe it's all about money in the end. Yeah, it's really hard for me to define. Like, I do feel like they are trapping or like entrapping something, or like some kind of substance or a portion of consciousness, or like a clone or some aspect of the self in these AI systems to kind of generate new realities. Maybe they use that as energy to generate new realities. But I do differentiate between um, the entirety of the soul, which is the eternal essence, or the entirety of the spirit. Let's say it's the spirit, and then there's also the soul, which could be like fragments of the spirit. So like a Mandelbrot set, a god within a god within a god sort of effect, like your consciousness splits up sort of thing. A digital world was built around us, and we're again. Yeah. Did you see my last video today, Nigel? Money. Yeah. You got that song right. I'll just say that regardless of your views on my work, I hope that you take your time when you leave here. Please just don't. Oh yeah, no, yeah, you got it. Please consider ignoring entities like the thing of it is, I have entities coming for me in my dream states. I don't know how many videos of mine that you've seen, but I have crazy dreams frequently. I've had astral experiences. There's something going on with me and the conscious world that it almost feels like something is always after me. So just allow yourself that, yeah, time to collect yourself. That's just the best thing. Hey, that is a really good suggestion. There's no way I could be against that. It's almost like common sense. You do need to have some semblance of sovereignty, right? Like you can't just there's so much manipulation going on here that I can't like necessarily say that it doesn't go on out there because why? I mean, in some cases, I guess it would. And I have talked about before that I do think that for certain souls, this place is an alien prison. So you're totally right. Couldn't agree more. Yeah, Forever Conscious, this is Nigel. He's my friend. I go up to LA to see him sometimes. Good guy. Good guy. If these entities are a good nature, then they shouldn't mind you taking the necessary time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Um, yeah. What is your opinion? Um, oh, Nigel, check out his YouTube channel too. It's really interesting. He has these really long live streams, but they're super interesting. Um, yeah, we do got to do some music together. um, so I know I've seen you talk about entities a lot, but what do you think about like specifically or what we think of as extraterrestrials or aliens, right? You think they have like control or dominion over this place? Like what's your opinion of the grays and stuff? For all the endless lies and deception and craziness here, it can't hurt to take the time to regain your memories. Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. Yeah. Um, Yeah, it's a thing it's definitely a struggle. It's a struggle, and I've struggled with my NDE all these years. I've struggled with all this stuff. We definitely don't know all the answers. There's don't get me wrong. There's things that really bother me too. One of the things that bothers me the most is as many of my listeners know very well, is just how there's no limits to evil here, how anything goes. There's no limit to suffering. People could be tortured. People get tortured to death every day. Just look at the Mexican drug cartels. There's no mercy or like just the most horrendous things have no limits here, which bothers me, which seems like something isn't right. There's definitely something really evil here. But then again, in the ultimate reality, as I've talked about with Nigel, everything simply just exists. So there is that paradigm too. So it's confusing and interesting and complex at the same time. Anything that promotes fear. Yeah. Yeah, that promotes fear. That's the thing. I can't really speak for the life review because I don't recall having one. So I know you talked about how that in many instances does conjure up feelings of fear in certain NDEs or shame or things like that. My personal opinion is that I think a life review is necessary, just to see how you affected other people. But if it does bring up feelings of guilt and shame, and if you're told that, then that would be fear based. In that case, Nigel, you're right. It'd be like fear is the mind killer. And you said, I think what we perceive to be ETs or astral entities. Some can come in and out of this realm, and some can even injure our physical bodies. Yeah. Oh, military. Yeah, military for sure. I've had really vivid dreams of military type stuff. I discussed this before, where I even had a dream where I was in an underground base and there was reptilians dressed in Nazi uniforms showing me videos of nuclear war and stuff. Total insanity. Yeah, I definitely think I'm with you right there. Forever conscious. I think a lot of them are. I do think a lot are literally just physical beings too, that just kind of come visit here, come along and stuff. So I don't know. It's all possible. All right, guys, I'll go for a few more minutes. I was just talking about how got my 7-string over there, Nigel, if you ever want to jam. So you guys can't see it. What am I showing you guys? Oh, right there. Okay, so up there, that's the 7-string Jackson. And down there, that's my 6-string. I mean, I'm not really into bass. I'm, mostly a guitar player. So I would, if we were to jam, I would come to you with everything, Nigel. I would bring all the obscure instruments I have too. The big thing about NDEs is that nobody's questioning anything. Yeah. Why is nobody putting these entities to the test? The blind acceptance. Yeah. The blind acceptance and compliance is seemingly endless. This is where I have a tremendous amount of respect for you, because there are very few people questioning. Looks like my family got home. Very, very few. There aren't a lot at all. It does need to be questioned. It needs to be scientifically. Okay, the people that do question it are the scientists, right? That just simply dismiss it and poo-poo it as the product of the brain, which I know for a fact it's not. To me, it's something that's just not possible. But then it needs to be questioned in other ways as well, because of the nature of where we are. And like you said earlier, how much deception there is here. We really do need to question everything. And you're absolutely spot on that. And then the other big one is the memory wipe. We incarnate here with no recollection of where we are and where we're going. We're kept in the dark and don't get a guidebook. My family's here. I'm going to go for 5 more minutes, though, okay? Because this is interesting. All right. Dina, I'm going to go for 5 more minutes, okay? That's another thing I don't necessarily have a problem with, because if, like, let's say you had 1,000,000 lives before, right? And you came in here with a memory of 1,000,000 lives, you would be so overwhelmed. And I think it would actually really hinder your experience here, because your brain would be on overload. I feel like, okay, even though I don't have any like past life memories per se, I feel like I have like some kind of maybe like subconscious layers of memory that I see often in my dreams and stuff like that. And even that is really overwhelming to me. And I know that these are other lives that I'm living like throughout the omniverse. A lot of my dreams are. So, and then again, then the idea of it being like a new experience, right? So when you're a child, like imagine that you're a god, right? And you want to experience everything like it's new and fresh. Like if you don't have a memory of it, you could at least pretend for a while that it's new, right? At least that's how I see it. But then again, there could be some, I suppose it's a tough one. That's definitely a tough one for me. Oh, we got some uh porn troll or something. Get out of here. I always get these. Like, just get out of here. We can retrieve bits and pieces through things like regression and meditation, but still it's small fragments, usually nothing of substance. Yeah, just information, and then personalized information, nothing to really help one grow. If everything is about our spiritual growth, then why have our memories wiped and us be unaware of how to improve? Yeah, that's a struggle for me too. Yeah. And then there's, the idea that, why are people the way they are? And why is it so hard to change? Like, if you have like, I've had so many bad behaviors throughout my life, addictions, behaviors. Um, I was involved with really shady people, like, and I did change, right? So I am beyond that now, but so many people don't, and there's still like things in my mind that are still like tied to that part of me, right? So why is it so hard to change or like to become better? Why do we always like we frequently fight with each other? We frequently yell and fight and scream, and that's one thing that bothers me too, Mark. Um, because it seems like a lot of times we don't grow, right? Because there's still plenty of violence. You know, they're preparing World War III right now. The drug cartels are murdering people every day. There's wars all around the world every day. There's violence. Not it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop for thousands of years. Okay, so that bothers me too. I'm on the same page as you. You would think that by now we would have gotten rid of these behaviors. Okay, I at least I would think, but it still seems like there's a little. Even if 1% of the world is violent, or even less than one, that 1% poisons the rest of the 99%. It's poison. Like I see it as that we have to all be good. That's how I see it. I don't know. We're also prone to brainwashing, and our bodies are built for pain. Yeah, yes, addiction is a tough one. Change is very difficult and embedded in us by design. The only constant in life is change. Yeah, that's true, Nigel. Yeah, and I would say that since actually me and a few of my friends that have been really Mandela affected, since that's what I initially wanted to talk about. You brought up pain, and even though the world seems more fake to us, we swear that pain receptors have gotten more intense. So actually, the feeling of suffering has gotten even worse since the Mandela effect stuff started, at least to us. And it's not like that we got weaker or older, something actually noticeably changed. So could that be part of that tethering to that timeline? I don't know. It's a tough one, yeah, but looks like it's about going to be 30 minutes, so I'm going to leave one more minute for any final thoughts. And I appreciate both of you joining. Very, very much. Thank you. Very interesting stuff we're talking about, and I appreciate that you even watch my channel, Mark. Thank you for being open to my ideas too. As you said earlier, this is all within. You can change. You have the opportunity. No, yeah, people do change. No, it's true. Like people there are miraculous turns around. That there are, cold-blooded killers that become saints. I mean, it does happen. I mean, I wouldn't say it's super often, but it does happen. Anything is possible for sure. Um, Anything is possible, but it just seems like it's made. It does seem like it's made to be extraordinarily difficult, or something is always like weighing us down and trying to like push us down, like to prevent us from. There has to be resistance to growth, right? But it's sometimes it seems like too much resistance. I don't know. Anyway, as you said earlier, this is all within. Yeah, if you can change, you can change the world. Have a good trip to Montana, Nigel, and we will jam sometime. I'll come up to LA, or you come here, or whatever. And I'd definitely like to jam in person. And you have a great night as well, Mark. I'll check out some of your newer stuff. And really appreciate you guys joining. Thank you. Bye bye. I'm open to hearing everyone just because I made the smoothie. Awesome. Glad to rest. All right. Take it easy, guys.